really happy for our school, our university, our administration. It's that kind of win, because you saw the students, you saw the way they were engaged, you saw the support, you saw the environment. ESPN saw the environment. This is a good in a home court environment in a big game as there's in college basketball. And I just thought our kids, in spite of losing 2 last week, came back and had 2 of the best practices we've had all year long, continue to buy in. You know, it probably was a good time to get Kentucky. We needed a game like, an opponent like this to kind of give us a chance to feel better about ourselves. And I just thought our kids, you know, did a really good job of competing. I thought the coaches put an outstanding game plan together. We thought that if we could prevent Kentucky from getting to the middle of the floor and the way we guard ball screens, that it would bother them based on the tremendous amount of success they'd had in that action all year long. Nobody guarded them quite like we did, and I thought it bothered them, particularly in the second half. And then the efforts of Kareem Canty and Tyler Harris, those 2 kids from New York stepping up big. You could just see their heart. You could see the heart out there. Kareem turned that ankle pretty good now. That thing rolled almost all the way down the floor, and yet he stepped up. And I hope we obviously get him back, you know, for Tuesday.
What's that say about Kareem's toughness to be able to stay in there and finish the game after that?
It says a lot about his toughness. He was, you know, obviously the matchup with a great guard like Ulis, who almost had a triple-double. You know, Tyler Ulis is a great player, and but he was obviously the focus of a lot of what we do. I thought our inside guys did a pretty good job of not letting their inside guys get after them. You know, they still had 18 offensive rebounds. You know, they still get 40% of their misses. So it's a very, you know, obviously a very athletic team. But I thought we showed composure. I thought we made plays down the stretch, and you know, let our best players make plays that they can make. Tyler making open shots is an enormous difference for this offense, and so very excited about the fact that he did and what that's going to do for his confidence moving forward.
Bruce, talk about, you got down by 10 pretty early in the second half. What got the momentum back to what?
12.
Well, I don't think we panicked. I thought we got our second win a little bit defensively, put a few stops together, and you know, we stopped turning it over. And I thought we did a better job of valuing possessions. We can play better offensively. I thought that there were some times where some extra passes could have been made, so on and so forth. But we competed, and we weren't intimidated by the moment. I think part of it is the strength of the schedule that we played. We played against some really good teams. And so Kentucky was a really good team, but it wasn't anything that was going to overwhelm us. But, you know, just from a standpoint of our program, you know, to be able to notch this win and to know that we can compete for our young players to do it and be involved in it. And like I said, for our student body. And a big weekend for football recruits. Big weekend for us, too. We had a lot of prospects here, and they got to see, again, just a phenomenal environment.
Bruce, Sims' activity like that today, what does that do for you guys as a team when he's as active as he was today?
He was terrifically active. Now I got to get him. He played, again, playing hard and being such a, you know, powerful man and play like that, that gives him a chance to, again, play some at the next level. If he'll be engaged now, he's got to play smarter. He's got to be more efficient and keep that same energy and effort and the will to win. You know, part of it's going to be now tonight in his preparation, and you know, we've got to celebrate, but we have practice tomorrow, and we got to make sure those guys get off their feet. It was really good. I thought we got great leadership from our upperclassmen.
Bruce, you mentioned Tyler. He must have had like 3 shots blocked in the first half and made an adjustment to have some success in the second half.
Well,
seemed like he made an adjustment that good players make.
Well, I thought he did a good job getting over that right shoulder with the left hand. You know, he's 6 straight from the line. But I thought those, you know, 11 rebounds was huge. He mixed it up in there physically against Kentucky's inside players. He was a presence. But Tyler was a terrific shooter in high school. He was a pick and pop guy. He was a Euro 4. That's who he was. And that's who he can still be now that he's kind of got that stroke tonight. I just very excited about that because he'll always compete. And he did a good job just, you know, kind of finishing.
Bruce, Horace Spencer in those 5 blocks, he had several along the perimeter to kind of change the game.
Here's the deal. When you play a team like Kentucky, they'll let you play. So in a game like this, Horace doesn't get in foul trouble because Kentucky's blocking our shots and we're blocking their shots, and because of all the athleticism, as a result, a very, aggressive game. It wasn't, it was, it kind of let him play. And so Horace benefited by that. And you could see his athleticism and how engaged he was.
Bruce, you'd said after the game against Vandy that your goal was to have Tyler kind of trust his shot, by the time he leaves here. Did you think he was going to get it back this quickly? I mean, just a few days later?
Well, we worked on it. We worked really hard on it, and it was important. And, I told you after the game that Tyler had come to me afterwards, almost apologetic. That's what kind of relationship I have with him and his family. He has nothing to apologize for. Nothing. He had a bad night. But he came here to help us do things like this. And, again, we hope that we can build on it, but this is the reason why he came. And he delivered.
Bruce, it's been 4 years since Auburn's upset a ranked team. Just what does this mean for the program, even beyond this season and on the recruiting trail and everything?
It gives us the hope. It gives our fans, again, this is what it looks like. But it's the whole thing. It's not just what took place on the court. It's in the stands. It's the following. And it does help in recruiting because it does send a message to a lot of really good prospects that have signed and are committed that we warranted their belief, on what we can do. We still got our issues, but this was a good step for, again, it's a great program win.
Bruce, how much more does it mean that you got this win just with the news you got earlier this week? I mean, you're going to be out without Taj the rest of the year and without TJ for an extended time, and you still go out there and beat another very talented Kentucky team.
I mean, look, the thing that what I've been praying for is just that, not so much for the success, the wins, it's just that God would help me keep these guys together. It's so hard when you're not winning, when you're not having success. Adversity, it reveals character, doesn't build it. And I challenged our character to stay together and to continue to believe. Our guys were very engaged, all of them. And it was it's a great team win.
Bruce, at the very end, in the midst of celebration, you saw him still on the court. You stood there for a couple of seconds just kind of taking it in. What were you thinking in those few moments? I'm happy for our students because I've not been able to provide that, as I said, that return on the investment yet. But when they see moments like that, they say, okay, our basketball program is competing in spite of injuries or challenges. And look, it took special effort, but I wanted to be able to see that special celebration. I didn't want to be in the middle of it because I got killed, but I wanted to watch it, and I wanted to see those guys enjoy themselves.
Bruce, Auburn hadn't beaten Kentucky in a while. How is there a significance to it in that regard?
When you beat Kentucky, or North Carolina, or Kansas, or Duke, in college basketball, it's significant. And John understands that, again, he's going to go in the locker room and say, I told you you're going to get a different team than what you've seen on tape. I told you they were going to be excited. I told you the crowd is going to be there. And this is going to be another good learning lesson. Look, Kentucky played hard. They competed. But what the home crowd does to some teams on some nights, it elevates you. Our play was elevated tonight. But I do think that a lot of guys did play tonight for the name on the front of their jerseys. I thought they played for Auburn tonight. They were aware of how many years it's been since we've beaten Kentucky. And they felt prepared. I felt like our coaches did a good job with the game plan, and that gave us confidence.
John had said that Kentucky's more vulnerable this year, and other coaches have said that than in their peak years.
Right.
How, from your perspective, how vulnerable are they?
I mean, they don't have right now against some defenses a go-to inside presence in certain ways. They've become a brilliant ball screen team, and they do phenomenal work out of their ball screens. we happen to defend ball screens well. And because we run a lot of ball screen offense ourselves, so we work hard on defending it. It actually tonight, from a standpoint of the matchup, was a matchup that played to some of our strengths. But you know, Kentucky, again, you got to keep in mind so many young players, and you know they're gonna compete for a league championship. There's no question. They played awfully hard. Our play was just elevated tonight.
How much was Willis a factor in the game?
Yeah, he was a big factor. He's a big factor in your game plan.
He was.
You got to factor him in because he's again that Euro 4, that stretch 4. He made some big shots for him, and when he's on the floor, also it really stretches the defense and opens up those driving lanes.
On a lighter note, I do have to ask, after Bowers made his comments yesterday, and then to see him hit that last free throw to ice it, what have the emotions been like with him the last 24 hours?
You know, you don't want to suffocate them. You don't want them to not be who they are. You want to coach them, you want to train them, you want to teach them. And sometimes kids do the darndest things. And so, before Sim came in to talk to the media yesterday, the legend, Chuck Galena, gave him a little clinic on Sim. No bulletin board material. I had talked to Sim on the phone. Chuck, call Sim before he comes in here. Sim, this is one of the things that you should think about talking about. Do you now understand my pain? But at the same time, you know, you love him, you know, for who he is and what he is. You love the big heart. You love the effort and the energy. And the only thing I would say with you guys is this. Keep in mind that you are dealing with young people. I think you guys do a really good job with that. Occasionally a young man, when the cameras aren't there, are going to say something to you, and you can walk away, oh, that's going to be front page. I got something. Or you can also do what you guys do, and that is, he probably shouldn't have said that. I may hold on to that for a minute.
Was anything different?
You guys are always trying to give me advice on a coach. I'm going to give you advice how to write.
Was there anything different that got Canty going in the second half?
No, I don't think so. Just that heart, that will, and you know, understand the respect that you have for the name on that jersey and that blue, and that's what brought out Kareem Canty. He grew up in Harlem. He grew up knowing what Kentucky basketball is. And whether he ever dreamed about being good enough to play there, that wasn't for him. He wasn't good enough to play there. And tonight he was good enough to play against them, and it just elevated it. And you have to be happy for him.
Everybody good? All right. Players.